Lexus is a brand that's famous for a few things: building the LFA supercar, being the upmarket Toyota, and selling cars that have very short options lists because, generally speaking, everything's included in the price. In fact, when it comes to the toys that a manufacturer can fit to a car, Lexus takes very seriously the phrase "go big or go home." And when it comes to the LX 450D, it looks like they've applied that philosophy to the metalwork as well. I can't be 100% sure in terms of its physical size, but this Uber 4x4 feels like the biggest thing I've ever driven. Compared to just about everything else on South African roads, even those cars famous for their size, it's the bargiest land barge of the lot. It positively reeks of get out of my way, although that's not just because of its size. It has recently been restyled and given some sexy lights front and rear, but shouting louder than anything else is that grille, followed closely by the profile, which does nothing to disguise this car's bulk. There's no doubt it will appeal to those who like their cars to be unsubtle, but I'm not one of those people. I don't think the LX is an ugly car, but I do think it's over the top. There are some highlights though. The dual-colored 20-inch wheels are standard, as are the LED headlights. In 4x4 terms, it definitely looks as though it's been designed to make a mark around town rather than leave its tire marks in the mud. The slim apertures for the front and rear lights give it a certain slickness, although packaged with this much sheet metal, it's hardly what you'd call sleek. New to the LX is this motor. You can still get the 5.7-litre V8, but this is a 4.5-litre V8 diesel, 195 kilowatts, 650 newton meters. It's hooked up to a 6-speed automatic gearbox, and as you might expect in a car this size, it is all-wheel drive, and it does have low range. The suspension is an all-air affair with selectable ride heights and the kind of surface smoothing ability you'd expect from a 1.4 million rand ride. The ride setup is the most impressive thing in the LX. You almost never have to worry what the road underneath the car is like. It stays smooth and unruffled just about everywhere. Just as good is the auto gearbox, which goes about its business in a very unobtrusive way. Less impressive is the rest of the drive, which just feels a little bit stodgy. The power delivery, the steering, the brakes, they're all a bit labored, and they all contribute to the fact that this car feels really, really large. Even the turning circle, which Lexus claims is under 12 meters, feels big. Unsurprisingly, the big LX doesn't like changing direction too quickly, and it's pretty easy to get the tires to complain. All in all, a drive that is sadly disappointing. It might be rescued by taking it off-road, but the fact is, no Lexus owner is going to do that in one of these. In fact, Lexus themselves are so unenthusiastic about this car's off-road ability that in their press release about it, they've dedicated exactly 47 words to this car's 4x4. And ironically, it's probably one of the things this car is best at. It's certainly well equipped for the task. Besides all the stuff I've already mentioned, there's an entire section of this car's center console devoted to dirt driving, with switchable modes, diff locking options, a steering assistant setting, and given that this car shares its genes with the Toyota Prado, there's almost no doubt that it'll handle itself very well when thrown into less than luxurious surroundings. I said earlier that Lexus's options lists are generally quite short, and for their biggest car it's basically non-existent. Included in the price you do get a lot of buttons, but there are also top quality materials, and it is a very comfortable space. Some of the highlights: the massive 12-inch screen, seat heating and cooling for every passenger, the rear seat entertainment system, the wireless cell phone charging. Once again, Lexus has provided some of the most comfortable seats on the market, and together with the rest of the interior, they take care of every need you could possibly have while behind the wheel. Park distance control with surround cameras is also part of the package, and believe me, the car needs them. Parking without them would be a very long exercise indeed. Space is a natural talent of the LX. Seats up, there's enough space to fit a small car. Seats down, and with enough skill, you could probably land a light aircraft in here. So, while it may not have the best drive in a luxury 4x4, in true Lexus style, there's one thing this big car is very big on. And that's value. there's not too much you can get in this class of car. A similar Mercedes-Benz GL will cost you around 250,000 Rand less, but for that you get a smaller motor and a shorter standard spec list, and not nearly the same off-road ability as that car. A Range Rover TD V6 will also give you a smaller motor and a shorter standard spec list, but it can go anywhere that car can go, and arguably with more style. It may cost 250,000 Rand more, but it is the one to go for. The LX now has a 4.5-litre turbo diesel option with 195 kilowatts and 650 newton meters. It's linked to a 6-speed auto gearbox and a full off-road setup, including low range and lockable diffs. It's not the most enjoyable drive in its class, but there's no doubt the LX offers great value for money. It may be 1.4 million Rand, but it comes with everything as standard, including true off-road ability.